Okay. Well, let me give you like a tip. There was this Money Map X pattern promo. We had the guy who was like the marketing dude at the time. This Money Map X pattern promo made, I don't know, tens of millions. And at the time, that was unheard of. And so what they did is he drew these circles, like the smallest circle in the middle is like the exact thing. It's like the death cross or something like that, or the Kissinger cross or something like that. Then a step out, a little bit wider circle is like the X pattern. And then like a step out from that, they had college kid makes $1 million. And then a step out from that was like, can you see this pattern? Something like that. So anyways, what the guy was trying to explain to us was like, the sweet spot is not we were actually describing the thing. It's the best ad was actually the college kid makes $1 million ad. And the big one that's so broad, it's like, can you spot this pattern? I feel like you are struggling to find that sweet spot. Your shit can be so vague. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about or who you're talking to sometimes. And then other times you get too literal or in the weeds or something, and it's still also quite vague. So for instance, I think this all comes back to a thing that we've been kicking your ass about for a while now. Research. Did you download and listen to any of these?
No.
See, there you have failed as a copywriter. Like that's absolutely not acceptable. What you need to do is find something interesting inside of there and then sell that. I mean, that is probably the most shallow, like surface level research you could do is look at the product. You don't have to go out and do this for 90 days and see if you lose weight, but you didn't even open the book that you're trying to sell. And so there's not like a secret copy trick I can give you. I have said it and I've pounded the table on like research does the writing for you. It's like a cliche. I say it all the time. And so if you want to improve your writing, you've got to get more serious of the research. Another analogy that we use constantly is the Abraham Lincoln quote about the axe and the tree, which is if he had to chop down a tree and he had to do it in 5 hours, he would spend 4 hours sharpening the axe, not swinging the axe, not cutting down the tree. 4 hours sharpening the axe. And the object there is to one swing, the whole tree is dead because the axe is so sharp. So you're swinging a hammer at a tree. You're swinging a sledgehammer, the bluntest thing. You got to get sharp. And if you want to level up in copy, this is real talk. Like this is a profession. And as a professional, you have got, that's the minimum requirement for you. You need to spend 3/4 of your time in immersing yourself. I mean, if you look at any of the greats, if you've read any of the copy books, if you hear the bizarre and lengths like Dan Kennedy goes to, Eugene Schwartz, if you look at how deeply they get involved in their copy, that's why they are who they are. And to just be successful, like I'm not saying you got to become the next Eugene Schwartz, but like that is sort of a prerequisite. You've got to get into the copy. And that's we've kicked you around a couple times with this one because you've got to hear me on this. Like this is important. Like you're going to lose rep points in this group if we hear again that you're writing copy without even looking at the product. Like you're going to hurt your rep like that. It's that I'm trying to be firm but fair with you here, okay?
Okay.
I know you're working, so I know you're constantly bringing us copy. So I'd like to see in 2 weeks some new stuff, and I want to hear about your experience. How did you approach your research? How did you dig into it? And when you're in there, I want you really focusing on those NESB emotions, new, easy, safe, and big. And I want you thinking like anything you're reading or listening or seeing, how can I categorize this as either new, easy, safe, or big? And those are the things that you want to highlight in your copy. That's the shortcut I'll give you for that, okay? Okay, even all that being said, the client says the regulations are slack, those kind of things. You will not, okay, so here's how Like essentially, if I could have 5 clients or 10 clients or something like that, or if I could land one like large company with really deep pockets, it actually makes the most sense to go to a place where like I have one client, I learn their systems and I repeat that business and I can kind of count on that. And also, if they are a company that really knows how to market and scale, and that the ceiling is much higher, then it becomes like maybe a potential royalties deal. And essentially, if you want to advance your career, you aren't going to get ahead that way, because you're going to find a reputable client who will ask you about your research process. And this is the person that can pay you tens of thousands of dollars. And they're not going to throw that money down the toilet. And they see something like that, you'll get axed. So here's something important. You have to sort of build these things. We had it's so funny. We had to talk about something similar just a moment ago. I was saying that copy is just muscle memory, right? So the example that I can give you is sort of like bench pressing, where if you start, you can bench press the bar and you start getting stronger and you're sort of benching like weird, like your elbows out and your wrists all turned backwards and all that. It works to a point, and then one day you just tear your shoulder, or you break something. It's because you had bad fundamentals that would take you so far. It could be the same thing with like dribbling a basketball, or anything where it requires technique and fundamentals. It could be rock climbing is another great example. You can climb a beginner wall by just pulling yourself up by your arms, but until you learn to utilize your torso and your legs for lift, then you will never be able to climb an advanced wall. In your copy career, if you can't learn the fundamentals for how to approach the research, and also the same thing with like if you develop bad habits with compliance and testimonials, you're going to get a great opportunity one day where your name's going to get around and someone's like, I'm going to give that guy a shot. And you're going to step up to the plate and they're going to read it on you whenever they ask you about like, what's your process? And you're going to miss that opportunity to conquer that really big advanced rock wall that could have been a $10,000 a month retainer because your fundamentals weren't there yet. And so what I'd like to encourage you to do, again, like think about this, get long-term greedy is the phrase that they use, long-term greedy. You'll have to put in a little bit extra work on some of these lesser clients perhaps, but you're going to build those chops that the big boys will respect. And those are the guys that can help you basically, I don't want to say the word retire, but they can stop your struggles. They can stop your requests for clients and your cold pitching and your job posting, and that all goes away. And then once you serve one of those guys, that's when you can write your own ticket. Like eventually you're like, I want more money. What do you think? And they'll say, sure, because we value you so much. Or they'll say no. And you'll say, well, I'm a copywriter with chops. I'll just go over here. This guy already said he'll give me more money. So we don't want to play small ball here. That's what I'm saying. So when I hear the things that you just described about didn't open the product, when I hear the things what the client says, there's very lax regulations and we can go crazy. Like that reeks of a guy who will never make more than like $500 in copy. Like I need you to break those habits now. I need to sort of just say, no, don't do that, because what the ascension here, you want the ceiling to go to those 5 figures, like retainer kind of thing. So I just want to stress that, because that is a real legitimate, there's plenty of people who make 6 figures writing stuff like emails and taking little freelance projects, one-offs and stuff like that. And you can fly under the radar and do some of this black hat stuff, but if you can get a name for yourself, like a rep, and it's positive, you stop doing a lot of the work yourself. You just start taking and declining offers. Yes, no, and then life gets very easy for you, okay? What's up, Copy Squad? I hope you found that useful, and if you're interested in getting a little bit more details about how me and my team set up our first 7 pages of a sales letter to give us the best shot at 7 figures, I invite you to check out copysquad.net copywriting.net/lead. On this page, you can be the first to get details about a brand new leads course that will illustrate and step-by-step show you the strategy that me and my copy team use to generate over $50 million in gross revenues in a single year in financial publishing. So all you got to do is go to this page, copysquad.net/lead, enter your name and email, and then hit the enter button, and you can be the first in the know as new developments arise. Thanks so much for tuning in, and peace out, Copy Squad.